Good morning, students. Welcome back to e-learning class of Social Science of Standard 7th. Today we are going to start with chapter number 12 in that part 1, and the name of the chapter is Effects of Atmosphere on Living Beings. Let's start from the page number 66. Let's start with the chapter. First one is formation of atmosphere. So students, it is believed that Earth that is separated from the sun. It is a separate planet from the sun, and it was in the form of fireball when it was originated. Means kaisa that was? That was in the form of fireball. Now this warm ball, when it is cooled down, its elements they begin to transform into liquid, solid and gaseous form. Now the elements that transform into solid form, that is known as lithosphere, that we have already studied before in previous chapter. Then in liquid form, that is known as hydrosphere, and which are transformed into gaseous form, they are known as atmosphere. Atmosphere, now the layer of the air that surrounds the earth, that is known as atmosphere. किसको बोलते हैं? जो layer होती है air की that surrounds the earth, that is known as the atmosphere, and it is extended up to the altitude of 100 kilometers from the surface of the earth. कितना इसका altitude है? That is up to 100 kilometers from the surface of the earth. Here altitude means it is height, so it extends up to the 100 kilometers from the surface of the land. It is difficult to say what is the height of the border above it. Now the atmosphere, it is considered to be existed only till the effect of the earth gravitation remains in the space, and we can see that the atmosphere layer contains 99% of air, that is up to 32 kilometers above the surface of the earth's surface, and as we rise above the surface of the earth, that is the air, it becomes thinner. Now we are going to learn about atmospheric gases. Now the existence of life on earth, it is impossible without atmosphere. Can we live without atmosphere? No, it is impossible. So atmosphere, it is composed of, or it is made up of gases, liquids and solid elements. Nitrogen and oxygen, they are present in the atmosphere, and it is important for ecosystem. It means it is important for all the plants, animals and living beings, that is ecosystem. Fog, that is कोहरा जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं. Mist, it's a small droplets of water. Then clouds, etc., they are the form of water in the atmosphere. Now there are mainly snow particles and living organisms in the liquid elements. Now the atmosphere, it protects the earth from the extreme heat during the daytime and from extreme cold during the night time. Students, this is the image of ratio of gases. Now the amount of gases that is existing in the atmosphere, they are shown in the table above, as we have seen before only now. That is nitrogen, that is found up to 130 kilometers, whereas oxygen, that is found up to 110 kilometers, and carbon dioxide is found approximately up to 20 kilometers, whereas hydrogen and helium, that is found in abundant quantity, that is in more quantity above the height of 130 kilometers. Now we are going to learn about the formation of atmospheric layer, how the atmospheric layer is formed. So as the altitude, it extends upwards from the surface of the earth, जो altitude है, it extends from towards the upward from the surface of the earth, the atmosphere, that is divided into different layers, that is depending on the changes in temperature and consistency of gases. On the basis of its changes, it is divided into 4 sub layers. First one is troposphere, second one is stratosphere, third one is mesosphere, and fourth one is thermosphere. Let's move on page number 67. Let us learn about the troposphere. Now the first layer of the atmosphere that surrounds the earth, that is known as troposphere. Now in this, changes occurs in it according to the season. Protects us from the sun during the day and keeps the weather warm at night. It extends up to an altitude of approximately, that is 16 kilometers at the equator and about 12 kilometers in the temperate zone and 8 kilometers at the poles. Now, this layer, it is very important for the ecosystem. Now, atmospheric storms, sound waves and wind formation, lightning, rain, clouds, etc., they occur, all these things occur in this layer. Now, in this layer, the temperature, it can decrease at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer of altitude. Now, at the height where temperature stop decreasing, that limit, it is called the troposphere limit. What it means, that at the height जहाँ पे temperature decrease होने लगता है, that limit, it is known as troposphere limit. Second layer is stratosphere. Now the layer above the troposphere, it is called the stratosphere. It extends from the troposphere to a height of about 50 kilometers. Then in this layer, if height increases, temperature also increases. Now seasons, clouds, rain, cyclone, etc., they are not seen in this layer. This layer is clean and thin here, so the jet plane can fly faster with less obstructions. Now at the altitude of about 15 kilometers to 35 kilometers, the amount of ozone gas is more, which absorbs the sun's extremely hot ultraviolet rays. Next layer is mesosphere. Now the part of atmosphere up to an altitude of about 80 kilometers above the stratosphere, it is called mesosphere. Now here the temperature, it decreases with the increasing altitude. The fourth layer is thermosphere. Now this layer, it is located above the mesosphere layer and it is starting from 80 kilometers. Now it is extended up to the completion of the atmosphere. Now here the air, it is extremely thin. As we go higher and higher, atmosphere temperature, it goes on increasing. Now this layer, it is further divided into two subdivisions, that is ionosphere and exosphere. Now the radio waves, they are reflected from the ionosphere. Now TV, radio broadcasting, advantage of internet is indebted to this layer only. Now the above of the ionosphere, there is one more layer, that is known as exosphere. Now what is weather? So weather, it is a short time average condition of the atmosphere. Now weather of any place or region, it is decided on the basis of its temperature, humidity, air pressure, rain, fog or clouds. Now weather of morning, noon or evening and night, it may changes also. Now let's move on page number 68. So weather, it is a short term condition of the atmosphere and changes may occur it in from time to time, that is cold in the morning, hot in the afternoon and rainfall in the evening. So this is possible in weather. Our life and activities, they are affected due to weather. And weather department of our country, it releases weather news and weather maps daily. Now things to know, that is the headquarters of weather department of India, that is in Delhi, and it is known as IMD, that is Indian Meteorological Department. Around 100 different observation centers of India are located in India and in Antarctica. Now its 4 regional centers, they are situated in Mumbai, Kolkata, Nagpur and in Pune. What is climate? So the average weather condition of any region, that is for long time period, or you can say for more than 30 years, for you can say 35 years or more, it is known as climate. Now climate, it is decided keeping the local condition, that is temperature, humidity, rainfall, air pressure, fog, etc. in mind. Now climate, it directly affects the ecology, that is ecosystem, that is plants, animals, human beings and other such activities of the region. Temperature. Now the surface of the heat, that is in the air, it is called temperature. Now the difference in the temperature of the atmosphere, it is felt only during the day and the night time. Now temperature, it also changes according to the season, that is temperature is higher हम लोग बोलते हैं टेम्परेचर इज हायर इन समर देन इन winter. Insolation, that is the important factor that affects the temperature distribution. What is insolation? That is a solar radiation that is falling upon a planet or a body. So that is an important factor that affects the temperature distribution, and the measures of insolations, that is decreases from the equator to the poles. Students, do you know why the temperature it decreases from equator to pole? So the answer is, as the sun rays reaches the equator, it falls straight. So heat is experienced equator and nearby regions. But as they reaches towards the polar region, the sun rays they fall slanting. So amount of heat decreases. Students, I have added the picture so that you can easily understand the concept. Due to this reason, the pole regions they are covered with ice. Now if the temperature of the earth it rises, then the crop it will not be able to grow over there. Temperature it is experienced higher in the cities than in villages. Due to asphalt roads and building made up of cement. Asphalt road means डामर जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं. It's a black thick substance used for making roads. So due to that substance and building, that they are made up of cements. Now what is atmospheric pressure? That is the layer of the air that is around the earth. It has a weight. Now a huge layer of air it pushes the surface of the earth according to its weight. अगर ज़्यादा लेयर होगी of air, it pushes the surface of the earth, that is according to its weight. So it is known as atmospheric pressure. Now the pressure of the atmospheric that is higher on the ocean, and atmospheric pressure it decreases on moving from the surface of the earth. Now in a region with high temperature, gases they become hot and they move upwards and they create a low pressure, we know that, and low pressure that is connected with cloudy and humid season. So in low temperature regions the atmosphere is cool, so pressure is high. What is wind? So the wind is, that is a dynamic air that surrounds the earth. It is known as wind. Now there are three main types of light and heavy pressures of air that is forms upon the surface of the earth. कैसे हैं? There are three main types of light to heavy pressure that they are formed on the surface of the earth. First one is permanent winds, second one is seasonal winds, and third one is daily or local winds. This is the image of wind, that is permanent, seasonal and daily or local winds. In permanent you can see trade winds, westerly winds and polar winds. Seasonal, that is seasonal winds of winter and seasonal winds of summer, and daily or local winds, that is sea land breezes and mountain valley breezes. Let us move on page number 69 and learn about the permanent winds. Now what are the permanent winds? That in some parts of the earth's surface that the wind they blow from a certain direction, that is throughout the year. They are known as permanent winds. Permanent winds they include trade winds, westerly winds and polar winds. Let us move to next type of wind, that is seasonal winds. So on the surface of the earth some wind blow according to the season and the direction is changed according to the season. So such winds they are called as seasonal winds. In countries like India, Myanmar, Bangladesh, etc., such type of winds blow, so they are known as the country of seasonal winds. Now in summer, winds of southwest, and winter wind blowing from northwest direction, they are the example of this type of winds. Let's learn about third type of wind, that is daily or local winds. Now on the surface of the earth in some region for a short time due to changes in air pressure, winds they are formed, that is called daily or local winds. Now example of local winds are sea land breezes and माउंटेन एंड वैली ब्रीजेस, दैट इज लू. हीट वेव्स जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं. You have heard the name, that is लू. एंड शीत लहर, दैट इज कोल्ड वेव्स एक्सेट्रा. Things to know. Now from the Arabic word that is mosmi, the winds they are named monsoon winds. Second one is a sudden change in air pressure causes cyclone. If there is sudden change in the pressure, air pressure, that causes a cyclone. Cyclone, it is also called typhoon, hurricane and tornado. 60 to 80 kilometers winds are called gusty winds, while 80 to 120 kilometers per hour winds they are called hurricanes. So with this, we have completed our part 1. I hope each and everything is very clear to you. In the next session, we will continue with part 2. Thank you.